Where you at, Berto?
6 unexpected turn-ons men always miss. We got Courtney Ryan about to give us some 6 hidden secrets. Let's get right into it and see if I think these are facts or cap. But she is a woman, so maybe we should take her word for it. Come on, let's do it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Ryan, and there's a big difference between what women say they find attractive and what actually captures their attention
Facts.
in real life.
100%.
Sometimes it's the smallest, most ordinary behaviors that actually have the big.
Honestly, bro, I can give you the best dating tip advice right off the rip. Whatever a girl says she likes, do the opposite. That's not always true, but I ain't gonna lie, a lot of times it is, bruh. They'll tell you that they like X, Y, and Z, motherfucker. They like the exact opposite.
Biggest impact, things that signal confidence, awareness, or emotional depth without you ever having to say a word. Most guys don't realize they're doing these things, or they overlook how powerful they are. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the unexpected turn-ons that make a man stand out in subtle, unforgettable ways. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is being calm under pressure. One of the most magnetic qualities that a man can have is composure, especially when life doesn't go according to plan.
You got to think about it, bro. Like, and this is where there is a lot of pressure on men. You know, I think it's tough, and a lot of you guys don't like to hear this, but nobody necessarily cares about your bitching and moaning, bruh. And I don't mean to put that in a weird or disrespectful way, because I know this is why a lot of men kind of struggle in silence. But at the end of the day, you're a man. You were born to lead. And that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a safe place for you to open up. But it also means at the end of the day, when your woman looking at you, like, she's looking at you to lead, bro. She's looking at you for guidance. You know, think of yourself, think of your father, and you know, I know some of us don't have our fathers in our lives, but think of the ideal father. You know, when the fucking plane comes crash, or maybe not the plane, but there's a storm outside, there's a hurricane outside, and there's no power. And think about, you know, you're 6, 7 years old, you don't really understand what's going on, you're scared. You know what I'm saying? Who you want to look at your dad and him hold you and embrace you and say, everything's gonna be okay, son or daughter. Everything's gonna be okay. I got us. You're good. You know what I mean? They want that security. Your woman wants that security. So every time something's going wrong, she looks at her nigga, and you're looking like Scooby-Doo in this bitch. Oh shit, Raggy. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna give a woman security, gang.
The way you handle pressure, conflict, or even mild inconvenience says more about your character than almost anything else. When plans change, if someone disrespects you, or something unexpected happens that wasn't a part of your plan, your reaction becomes a reflection of your inner stability. I would say most people let small frustrations chip away at their patience. They sigh really loudly, they snap back, or they let irritation completely take over. But the men who are able to just stay composed, turn on. A calm, steady energy communicates confidence without a word. It tells people, especially women in this case, that you're not easily shaken, that you have emotional control, and that being around you feels safe and reassuring, which is one of the most powerful feelings that you can make a woman feel.
This is good advice, man. This is really good advice. Sometimes you just gotta shut up and let them talk. This is good advice.
It's a deeply attractive dynamic because it allows others to relax in your presence instead of sort of mirroring your stress. If this isn't your natural default, it's something that you can absolutely build and work on. If you're listening to this thinking, oh, well, I do those things, that is okay. You can work on it, I promise. Try to slow your response time when you feel that your patience is being tested a little bit. I want you to take one deep breath before you speak.
I was just about to tell you, one of the best things you could do to keep a calm and, you know, steady frame is just breathe, bro. Literally breathe. You know, a lot of times you literally can just stop and hit one of these. Even let it out through your mouth. Pause. You're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel a lot more calm. You know what I'm saying? And slow down your speech. Don't be, you know, just running to get everything off in 2 seconds. Like, you know, you literally can slow down and think about every single word that's coming out of your mouth. And that's might feel a little bit complicated in your head, especially when you first start doing it. But the people that are listening to you, they're not gonna think, why is this person talking slow as fuck? No, like, you're actually gonna sound more intelligent. So slow down, take a deep breath, and just remember that anything you're still, anything that could happen to you, as long as you're still here, you're still breathing, you still can see, you see what's going on, like, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. You're in control. So there's no reason to panic, because you panicking, you can't make any good decisions while you're panicking anyway. So you might as well make those decisions with a sound mind. Yo, real quick, if you like making money, I need you to watch this part of the video. If you don't like making money, then go ahead and skip it, but that really should be none of y'all. I know you guys have been seeing me promote this new app called Free Cash, and the big talk of the town is
this a scam, Berto? What is this?
Well, look at this guy and this guy, all people from our community that are making money through the Free Cash app. The link is in the description. Even one person from my boy Astro Dior's community made $1,000 using the Free Cash app. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, you can make free money while playing games on your phone. But let me break this down in a very clear way for you guys so you know exactly what's going on. When you sign up for Free Cash using the link in my description, once you're in, you're gonna see a list of games pop up. You download them, you play them, you beat the levels, get to the certain requirements that they tell you to hit. And once you get there, you're gonna get some credits sent to your account. Every single time you hit the requirements, you get paid real money. And they make the process so easy that you can cash out that money into your PayPal or even gift cards. And yes, it is completely free to use. Now, there are some options where you can spend a little cheese to get through the level faster, but you don't need to do that. The reason why this is even possible is because these games are trying to get new players onto their platform. So they pay free cash to pay you to get people to play the game. Now, I know I showed you a crazy example of somebody making up to $1,000, which it's possible, but realistically, it might take some time. This is just an easy way you can make an extra 10, maybe 20 bucks, just doing something that you guys probably do for free anyway. So if you're gonna be bullshitting on your phone playing games, why not get paid? So if you've been on the fence, this is your sign. Click the link in my description and try out a few games. And when you make your money, take a screenshot and send it to me, bro, because I want to see y'all make that cheese. Because if I'm winning, I want to make sure y'all winning too. I love y'all. Y'all know what to do. Link in the description, and you're gonna get a $5 bonus using my shit. Now let's get right back to the video. Where you at, family?
And something helpful you can do is even ask yourself whether this moment will still matter tomorrow or even an hour from now. Most things probably won't. Now, this doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's not what I'm trying to say. It just means mastering it. Over time, that balance between strength and calm is going to become a part of who you are.
Big, I'm sorry. I keep ad-libbing off her, but like, she's just saying some really good stuff, man. And I just want to add my more 2 cents. Like, definitely that's something big that I do all the time. Does this, like, how is this going to affect me long term? Because so many times we get so flustered and frustrated over things that don't even matter. So before you crash out, literally ask yourself, how does this affect me long term? What does this actually do for me? What are the pros and cons of this? Is it worth crashing out? Is it even worth addressing? Sometimes certain things that a woman says, or just anything that happens in your life in general, doesn't necessarily deserve a response or need a response. Sometimes the best response is no response. You ever heard a wise man once said nothing at all? Come on, man.
And that quiet confidence tends to really draw people in without you ever having to raise your voice. The way that you respond and react absolutely matter. And yes, it can either be a turn on or a turn off to women. Number 2, subtle physical restraint. There is something incredibly attractive about a man who is in control of himself, not just physically, but emotionally too. You can feel it in the way he moves, the way he speaks, and the way he reacts, like I mentioned in point 1. He's not impulsive and he doesn't rush. Instead, everything he does just feels really intentional. I think this kind of restraint, whether it's the way he touches, the way he looks at someone, or even how he chooses his words, carries a quiet power. Now, I'm not saying to be cold or distant, just more so able to keep your composure. When a man slows down instead of chasing instant gratification, it creates this tension that feels magnetic.
This is good advice, but I feel like it's kind of a subcategory of what she kind of already said in the beginning. So again, slow down, stay in control, and, you know, just don't let your emotions get the best of you. That's the best way to put it, bro. I tell you guys multiple times in multiple videos, bro, you never want to get too high. You never want to get too low. The best place to operate is the neutral space. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting overly upset. We're not getting overly happy. You know, sometimes the sad truth is when you're really excited about something, you rush and, you know, do something that you probably shouldn't do because you're too excited. Stay in that neutral place. And, you know, it's not about numbing your emotions, but it's just genuinely about making good decisions. You want to continue to make good decisions, right? So you want to stay in a place where, okay, or here's a better way to put it. enjoy the highs, and you can sometimes sit in the lows, but when it comes time to make decisions, when it comes time to lead, when it comes time to show your woman, this is the topic that we're talking about today, that you know how to handle your business, you need to be in a neutral mind space.
Women pick up on that instantly. It signals that you're not desperate for attention or approval, you are comfortable leading the pace, and you're aware of the moment that you're in. It's sort of a subtle way of saying, I don't need to rush this because I know what I bring to the equation. That kind of energy will naturally draw people in. It makes interactions feel more meaningful, and it builds anticipation, whether that's emotional or physical. It shows emotional intelligence, self-discipline, and maturity, all of which we know are deeply attractive. And I want to reiterate, this restraint doesn't just apply to physical touch. It can show up in how you listen, how you hold eye contact, or how you handle conflict. I think when a man can stay grounded and composed, especially in those situations that might fluster other people, it creates a kind of quiet dominance that is far more powerful than trying to impress someone. And speaking of self-control and attention to detail, those same qualities apply to how you take care of yourself too, which
Brand deal, smell it.
For sponsoring today's video. Number 3, self-directed focus and having direction. One of the
Self-directed focus.
most subtle yet powerful turn-ons is a man who is actively moving towards something. Women notice when a man
Goals. Okay, have goals.
and has focus and momentum, even if he hasn't arrived at his goal yet. It is not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about clarity, consistency, and the energy that just comes from pursuing growth. Direction signals purpose, whether it's career ambition, a passion project, a hobby that you enjoy, a personal development. I think a man
Don't be a bum. When a woman is looking at you and you're always available, and you're like, hey, can you hang out with me this time? Yeah. Can we do this? Yeah. And you never are doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually that girl's gonna start to wonder, like, how do you make money? What is your occupation? What do you like? Where are you trying to be? What's the end goal here? And you don't have answers to those questions. Don't be a bum, bro. Make sure you never put a woman before your purpose. Make sure you got your purpose and your direction.
who is working towards something just feels alive and engaged with life. That energy is such a turn on because it shows that he's capable of commitment, he's capable of discipline and long-term thinking, which are qualities that go far beyond just that surface level attraction. A man who has direction also just comes across as more trustworthy and reliable. There's a sense that he's not just drifting aimlessly, waiting for life to happen to him or chasing external validation. Instead, he is intentional about how he spends his time and his energy, which is incredibly appealing. If you're someone who's watching who is still figuring things out, you might feel a little bit lost right now. I think the key is just to start small and then build momentum.
A lot of y'all want to start at the end goal. You know, sometimes it's so exciting when we have ideas to just kind of close your eyes and imagine where you're going to be, or imagine, all the success and all the fruits of the labor that you haven't done yet can be, right? But you just have to remember that you have to start somewhere, bro. Everyone that you can ever look at and be like, oh, I want to be like them. Oh, that lifestyle looks so cool. They started at 0 too. Obviously there's the few cases of the little Nepo babies out there that didn't have to work for nothing a day in their life. But I've always told people, bro, don't look at that and be like, oh, they have it so easy, because maybe their struggles just aren't financial. You know what I mean? Now they have the battle of struggling with the emotional and the mental part of all the things that come with being a Nepo baby, all the things that come with just getting everything handed to them. So now they have to learn how to be humble, learn how to treat people with respect, learn how to value money even though they have it all. So everybody's battling something. So just think, everybody has to start from somewhere, and your journey can start today. You just have to literally get up and go. Don't wait, or it's not just gonna fall into your lap. You're not just gonna wake up and be a millionaire. You're not just gonna wake up and be the biggest YouTuber. You're not just gonna wake up and, I don't know, have a Fortune 500 company that you use, Apple or a Tesla. You have to get up and start building things brick by brick and enjoy the process. You're gonna take a lot of L's on the way, but those are the battle scars and experience that a woman's gonna respect you for. Be like, damn, how'd you get this scar? Oh, damn, what happened here? And you can literally break down to a story like, oh no, I actually did this and I failed miserably and I lost everything, but then I built it back up and, you know, I'm thriving and striving now. Wow, you're so inspiring. Wow, like that's so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine the look in a woman's eyes when it's just like, yo, this nigga like really lost it all and built it back. Like, you know, your story might look a million times different in different ways, but the point is you have to be goal driven and be moving with purpose, and you have to start today. All right.
Pick a skill or a project to improve. Set achievable weekly goals and then stick to them. Over time, these consistent efforts compound into noticeable growth, and that confidence becomes visible to other people. And you'll also feel it too. Keep the promises that you make to yourself. This is how you build true, real confidence, through that self-discipline and keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Even very simple habits like waking up on time, dedicating yourself to a workout, or finishing a project that you started communicate focus and purpose. Women might not consciously think about it, but they sense that stability and direction, and it will draw them in. And it is a turn on from a woman's perspective. I think ultimately, self-directed focus isn't just attractive because it signals that someone's going to be successful or success in general. I think it's attractive because it signals life. A man with direction is a man who knows where he's going, and there's an irresistible confidence in that certainty, even if he's still on the journey or just starting. It's going to make her more likely to want to be a part of it too. Number 4, small intentional movements. Now, your body language communicates far more than your words, often before you even open your mouth. How you walk into a room, the way that you sit, how you adjust your jacket, or even the way that you pour a drink. Every small action sends a signal about who you are and the energy that you carry, whether you realize it or not. And I also have to mention this because it's relevant here. A man's hands are incredibly appealing, whether it's how you hold a steering wheel, a gesture while talking, or gently resting your hand on a table. Women notice. Hands convey confidence, strength, and care, sometimes in ways that words cannot. Honestly, I probably could have made.
Again, I'm gonna let her yap here, but I'll tell you this. I do think there's some truth there to what she's talking about, but these aren't the things that are going to make a girl be like, I fuck with you or I don't fuck with you. It's going to be everything else. You know, if you fucking put your hands like this, or if your hands go on the table, like obviously not good posture. I say if you're like kind of slouching over and, you know, look like a little noob, then yeah, that definitely can make a difference. But, you know, if we get to the point where we're trying to, mastermind how we lay our hands on the table and how we naturally drive on the wheel, I mean, hey man, I don't think this is where you should be overly fixating and focusing on as a man, honestly. Like that's not what's gonna make or break anything in your world. If a girl likes you, I guarantee you she's not gonna leave you because she doesn't like the way you fucking steer your car. So not saying it's bad advice. I just am also saying I don't think you should fixate on this.
An entire point just about hands. They are that much of an unexpected turn on. Not just for me, okay? I'm not a weirdo, but for a lot
I was just about to say, she looks like she's very passionate about this topic.
Of women. If you've been around for a while, I am sure you've heard me talk about this in other videos. Back to my point, I got a little distracted here.
Yeah,
I think
she
deliberate, controlled movements communicate calm, grounded energy. Not being stiff or overly serious, but just showing that you are comfortable in your own skin.
Now, you know, I will give her that though. That is good advice. Again, like if you just look stiff, you just don't look like you are comfortable, then yeah, that's definitely going to be communicated, because body language is a real thing. Body language is 100% a real thing. But again, everybody's comfortable does look different. So I'll say that.
Even subtle adjustments, slowing down slightly when you gesture, taking a measured step, or holding a pause before sitting can shift how others perceive you. It signals that you are in control, you're composed, and you're thoughtful. Those little cues are incredibly effective because they're so understated. Most men don't pay attention to them, which makes them a true, pretty unexpected turn on. Over time, these small intentional behaviors compound. They give off an aura of quiet confidence, calm dominance, and presence.
Aura.
All qualities that women respond to instinctively, even if they can't quite explain why. And we have unexpected intelligence. Intelligence isn't about showing off or
This kind of goes into my little tangent about freaking the battle scars and the experience of life, and the only way you get those experiences is by going through them, is by going out there and put yourself out there and getting hurt a little bit and taking some L's. So, that is why I always encourage y'all to put yourself out there. Don't live a fearful life, because again, one of the biggest turn-ons for a woman, one of the biggest respectable things as a man, is a man that has experience. And experience definitely will up your intelligence. I'm not the most book smart motherfucker. Sometimes I stutter every other sentence. I curse like a sailor. But something that has always been told to me by other people, shit, by y'all, women that I talk to, people in my life, is they feel like I just have all this experience and I'm just have all this intelligence. And I appreciate that, but I chalk it all up to the fact that I've just been through a lot, man. I've been through a lot. Yes, I'm reading more now, so yeah, I'm trying to up my intelligence in that way, and I think that's just something that everybody should do. Reading books is so powerful, and that's something that I'm learning, is like, okay, I wish I would have done this more when I was younger. That's a new skill that I'm like getting into. But or not a new skill, a new hobby rather, because I know how to read. But yeah, so, but point is, experience will 100% up this a million times, but you can't fake this. And that's the thing. You can't fake intelligence. You have to literally go through it to get through it. So again, if you're young, just start trying things. Put yourself out there. Don't live a fearful mind, don't live a fearful life. Now, again, I'm not telling you to be a fucking degenerate and do stupid shit, but even when you are a degenerate and do stupid shit, and by the grace of God you get away, that's an experience. Now you have intel on that experience and what it was like for you.
Correcting other people, it is subtle, understated, and surprisingly magnetic. You don't want to be the guy who makes people feel stupid. That is not a turn on at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But what really draws people in is curiosity, thoughtfulness, and the ability to just listen and engage with people in a meaningful way. A man who can explain things clearly, ask insightful questions, and connect ideas naturally comes across as captivating. It signals that he is thoughtful, present, and comfortable navigating the world without needing to dominate every single conversation. Yeah. You don't have to be the most book smart guy in the room. I think what really matters is showing a genuine interest in the world and the people around you. This kind of intelligence creates depth that women notice instinctively. A man who combines curiosity with calm composure and presence becomes someone that other people want to be around. So how you can practice this is read, explore, and stay curious. When you talk to people, focus on asking thoughtful questions, listening to them actively, and contributing meaningfully rather than just...
A big way you can get into any woman's heart is just by listening, bro. Sometimes you guys want to do like the interview Riz and ask like really baseless questions like, how was your day today? What's your favorite color? But, sometimes you really, maybe if you do ask a question like, how was your day today? What were you doing? Or how was your week? What did you get into? And then she says something like, oh, I just tried this jujitsu class or something like that, something random like that, right? I'm coming off the top with this. But instead of kind of like fixating on, oh, well, jujitsu class, that's cool. And what else did you do? Maybe you can dive a little deeper and you're like, oh, jujitsu. Yeah, you didn't strike me as the type of person that is into that type of stuff. What made you do that? And then boom, now they're actually opening up and you're actually getting to know that person. And before you know it, maybe they love karate or maybe they don't at all, but they have a secret passion for fighting that they wanted to explore. And now that's actually opening up a conversation and you can interject and give your personal experience. Or, maybe you took a boxing class. Maybe now, you're actually having a genuine conversation. And that's kind of like, I think the better way to go about conversing with women is literally listen to the things that they sound passionate about, and make them feel, it's easier to make them feel comfortable when they're talking about things that they care about, things that makes them excited. And before you know it, that's how you can also interject the things that you care about, because you guys naturally, it's just only natural when you have like passionate conversations like that about things that feel exciting, you're going to obviously interject and, talk about your experiences and things that you potentially relate to. And that's just how it goes. So be a really good listener. Be a really good listener. And when I say listen, that's not just like the surface level shit. Pay attention to the details. Maybe whether it's her jewelry, you notice that she wears a certain color a lot. You notice that she, has a fucking keychain from this special rock band. Like, pay attention to the details and try to figure out like what really makes this girl tick. What is she really into? And get her to open up about stuff like that.
Just trying to impress them or get a word in. To be interesting, one must first be interested, as I always say. And lastly, reading the room. Social awareness is one of the most underrated turn-ons. Being attuned to the environment, noticing subtle energy shifts, and understanding unspoken cues communicates emotional intelligence, maturity, and presence. A man who reads the room knows when to speak and when to stay quiet. He can sense someone's discomfort, excitement, or hesitation without needing to be told. That kind of awareness is so attractive because it signals empathy, leadership, and the ability to navigate social situations gracefully. It is a quiet power that draws people in without demanding attention. So start practicing by simply paying closer attention to others' reactions. Watch their body language, their tone, and their micro expressions. Notice how people respond when you speak and listen accordingly. In fact, I think listening more than you speak is one of the easiest ways to sharpen this skill. Over time, you'll naturally start to develop a presence that makes other people feel seen, understood, and comfortable. A magnetic, almost unspoken attraction and a turn on to women. So it's not always the loudest or the most obvious things. I think the real turn-ons come from the small intentional ways that a man carries himself. They stay calm under pressure, showing patience instead of reacting impulsively. They have direction even while they're still figuring things out. They move deliberately, speak thoughtfully, and notice the little details that most men overlook. The subtle energy, the way they make someone feel seen. These are the moments women notice without even realizing it. It's not flashy, it's not forced, it's quietly magnetic. And the best part, these turn-ons are not something that you're born with. You can practice them, refine them, and make them a part of who you are. When you do, you won't just catch her attention, you'll become the kind of man that she cannot stop thinking about. Calm, intentional, aware, those are the unexpected turn-ons that stick long after a moment has passed.
W video, man, I think she gave a lot of good advice. The only one I really disagreed with was the little hand ones. But again, I'm not completely writing it off. I think body language is important. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Courtney Ryan, I think she gives good advice, honestly. So y'all go tap in with her. For the most part, is every video I've seen so far, she has proven to give pretty good advice, man. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Hope I could add some more value on top of the points that she made. And y'all already know what it is. Where you at, family? I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look too easy.